Part 2, showing your thought process for inequality, absolute value inequality applications. The normal body temperature for an adult is considered to be 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. If a school decides that a change of more than 2 degrees from the normal temperature means a student is sick, write and solve an absolute value inequality that shows the body temperature ranges for the students that will be sent home. Now, I have underlined an important part of the problem. This really represents our variable and is going to help me define our variable. Let's say that T represents the temperature of students sent home. I didn't write just temperature because I want my variable to be defined exactly as it's defined in the problem. I don't want it to be general, I want it to be specific for the situation. Next, let's try to decode the rest of the information in the problem. A normal body temperature for an adult is considered to be 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. We basically want every single student who is going to go home, their temperature is going to be more than 2 degrees from this normal temperature. So think of, you take the temperature of the student, you compare it to the normal, and it's going to be some range from 2 degrees. Now think of a range as absolute value. Remember that an absolute value has to do with a distance from any number to 0. Any number to 0. Now what we're doing with this idea of absolute value is we're looking to see how we can express distance not only to 0, but distance to a specific value. We want the distance for this problem to be 2 on one side and 2 on the other. So minus 2 would be 96.6 and plus 2 would be 100.6. Now these 96.6 and 100.6 is going to be the solution for the problem. But see, we can't get away with that because we have the absolute value inequality. And we want to make sense of this in terms of absolute value. So any temperature has to have a distance to 98.6 that is going to be outside of this range. It's going to have a distance of more than 2 from 98.6. That means that if we take the difference of any temperature of the student and that difference has an absolute value that's greater than 2, then that student will be sent home. Their temperature is either too high or too low to stay at school. Now for solving. This is going to be solved very much like the homework that we did recently. And it's going to fit this range that I showed here. Add 98.6 to both sides. And we get 100.6. There's our upper range. And add 98.6. The difference, 96.6. there's our lower range. So, if a student is going to be sent home, they have to have a temperature that is below 96.6 degrees Fahrenheit or above 100.6 degrees Fahrenheit.